Hey everyone, welcome to the Hospi Show. I'm Mark,
I'm Alan.
and today we're going to talk about vacancies in midterm rental. This is a topic that's going to require multiple episodes and is evolving, we'll say. But if you don't know who Alan is, he's the founder and owner of Hospi Homes. He's top 3 when it comes to midterm rental forum posters that are upvoted. He has hundreds of posts. You can find out more about him there. But let's dive into today's video. It's a short one. So, Alan, we talked about vacancies in previous videos, and you mentioned that in midterm rentals, there's a 15% vacancy rate, just about.
On average, yeah.
On average, right. Yeah. With units in California, Los Angeles specifically, yeah. Studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. You have 3 bedrooms, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. This is one of them.
This is one of them. We're in one of them. So would you say that, I guess the first question I have, which months are the slowest?
Yeah, good question. So there is seasonality. This is something maybe people don't realize to start with. There is seasonality with midterm rentals. It's definitely less, there's less variance than with short-term rentals. But for example, we do see higher demand in the summer. We do see some higher demand during the holidays, December. So slow times are, this mirrors short-term rentals a little bit. It gets slow right after summer. So right now it's September. We have more vacancies than typical. So I would say September, October is a little bit slower. And then that January, February also slower.
So the slowest months in Los Angeles specifically are September, January, and February.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the slowest months in short term too.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there is some parallel there. It just, if you kind of think of like the peaks and troughs are not as wide compared to short-term rentals.
That makes sense. I mean, that's how short-term rentals are anyways.
Yeah,
That's just how it is. It's just everything is faster.
Yeah, more extreme.
It's almost like cryptocurrency. Like not quite. But
that's a different thing.
Yeah, like I have nothing bad to say about crypto, by the way. It's just the comparison there. But our clients, guests and tenants, specifically are travel nurses, people coming in for work, insurance placements, students. Would you say those are the 4 top?
Let's see. Those are definitely some of the most common. In addition to that, there's people relocating to the area.
Okay.
Looking for where to buy a home. There are, what else are we missing? People renovating their homes, which is kind of similar to the insurance placements. Yeah.
So those are the top 6 types of people coming in.
Yeah,
and then there's like, it's the holidays and come in and see my family,
sure,
basically. Yeah. All right, well, the reason I ask them that is because it's slow on September, January, February, and those are our clients, right? Those are the types of people it's slow with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That if you're housing those types of clients, you can expect that type of slow in California. And by slow, just being honest, out of 21 units here, you would say?
Yeah. So currently at 21, 22.
Yeah. 9 of them are like just open right now.
Yeah, currently vacant, and we're actively looking to get a next booking.
Right, but then again, Alan, says that by the end of the month, they'll probably be booked out.
I think most of them would be. Yeah, I'm confident about that.
Historically, it's been true, right? So that's another thing I want to talk about here is those are the slow months. Historically, do you see? And I have my questions here in notes. Do you see any trends that are changing, or is it mostly the same over the last? Because you've been going into year 4 with midterm rentals, right?
Yep.
I think year 4.
Yep.
And so out of those 4 years here in LA, these months, there's not been much change or variance. Not enough for you to notice, has there?
Yeah. I don't have like specific data on this, but definitely in the past 3.5 years now. Like for example, the busy months, the slower months, that has kind of been the same. We have seen rents go up, which is, as long-term rents change, midterm rents kind of follow with that, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Over time, the rents will go up. But again, compared to short-term rentals, those ups and downs year over year are going to be more subtle compared to short-term.
They're just following all the trends, just, not as big, right? Like, and that's the way I say that is confusing, but it's, if the rents on long-term go up for $500, then midterm will probably follow, maybe double that.
Sure, yeah. Right. It's going to be proportional to the long-term rents.
Right. I lost my train of thought, but I think that does answer the question. There is no change in the seasonality of things right now from what you're
Yeah.
seeing. The answer is no.
Nothing significant noticeable. I will add this is a common question people, I see people asking online in forums is people ask with, coming out of the pandemic, is there a change in demand for travel nurses, right? So travel nurses are just one portion of the type of mid-to rental tenants we get, but a lot of people who do mid-to rentals are thinking travel nurses, are targeting them. For us, again, we're in Los Angeles, so it's a big market, a lot of hospitals around. I haven't seen any significant decrease in travel nurse demand. Again, that could vary in other markets. For example, if you're in a smaller town that has one major hospital, if that hospital, for whatever reasons, internal reasons, chooses to use less travel nurses, it'll affect your property, right? So that's kind of, one of the reasons why it's great to be somewhere with multiple hospitals. But again, in our market, I haven't seen that change. If anything, with the coming out of the pandemic, I think there's a strong kind of tailwind for mid-to-rental demand because of the option to remote work now. People do like workcations, where they'll travel for longer and they'll work right, during their trip. So that demand is still pushing.
Okay. Well, that's all I have. Do you have anything else about vacancy, just the tempo of the vacancies in the weakest months, things like that in LA with these types of clients, or
the last thing, without getting to numbers, last thing I'll mention is it varies if you kind of drill down into property type, which also affects the tenant type. Right? So if you talk about a travel nurse, there's some rationale for the ups and downs, or another type of tenant, right? Like for example, in insurance placements, there's probably less seasonality because pipes bursting, they don't choose what season they burst, right?
Fair.
Or fires or floods or whatnot. People think of California, they think of wildfires, so I guess there's some seasonality to that. But honestly, maybe where we're at, we're not housing those type of tenants. But so if you think about why someone's using mid-rental and when they would, then let's say you're targeting a specific type of mid-rental tenant, then you want to figure out what their seasonality is for that type of tenant.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, and I hope you got something out of this video, because we'll see you next time. Take care now.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys, just wanted to add a couple of notes to this one. It's been a couple of months since we recorded it, so some new things we've learned since then. But just two things real quick. Well, the first one is, we mentioned the 15% vacancy. For some of our properties, we have seen, so on the flip side, 80 to 85% occupancy has been typical, especially for the larger homes, the 3-bedroom larger homes. Of course, every property type, property size, and other markets, the typical the occupancy rate that you would expect can be different, right? Of course, that will change. It's not going to be the same every year into the future. So that's one thing I wanted to add. The other thing is we talked a little bit about the trends. So since we're recording this video, we've definitely seen a trend where there's a decrease in demand for travel nurses. So not only is there I believe, and I've heard from people in the nursing industry, there's a decrease in how much hospitals are using travel nurses and hiring travel nurses, but also the ones that they are hiring, they're having a lower budget or lower housing stipend. So where I'm seeing this is, for example, on Furnish Finder, under the housing request, the budgets that the travelers and the nurses are listing when they're looking for housing is lower. We're seeing in Los Angeles a lot more 2,000 below budget ranges for an individual traveler, when before we were getting bookings more around 3,000 for an individual looking for a space. So that is definitely something that's shifting, post-pandemic, and I think that's going to be moving forward. A lot of the other type of mid-rental tenants have more stability as far as the trends. For example, insurance bookings. There's always going to be homeowners who have water damage, fire damage, etc., who need temporary housing while their homes are being repaired. Right? There's not really, maybe if you're near if there's a natural disaster, there'll be increase in demand. There's not any reason why that demand will go down. Now, supply is a different issue, which maybe we'll talk about in a different video. All right.